Oh my god, I'm so sexy. Mwah, I love it. Anyway, I had a cup of mocha and a Mountain Dew, so let's talk while I'm happy. I love luxury things. I love beautiful things. I love that my life is getting higher and higher up, and it just feels like I'm on this amazing rocket ship blasting me off to amazing new horizons. I can do really well at utilizing my personality, my looks, my charms, and anything to get what I want. Like, for example, today I sat in a man's face and he tried to, like, simply put, he was eyeing me all the way down the block. He knew what he liked, what he saw. I talked to him, he talked to me. He was quite shocked that I knew I believe it was was it a CPL or a CLA? I semi recognized the acronym. And I told him, oh, does that happen to deal with, like, on the path of becoming a financial analyst? And he gave me a similar look that a woman would give a man if a man said that he knew his zodiac sign and his exact chart alignment. It's like, who taught you that shit? But you know what? He still was down. He was like, oh, well, would you like, because I was going to walk away, but he was like, would you like to sit down with me? Like, I can get you a drink if you want. And he got me a mocha. And we had a lovely conversation. And, he seemed to be doing quite well for himself and has horizons and ambitions to do better. And it seemed like we were vibing pretty well. But towards the end of our meeting, he tried to ask me on a date. And I said, oh, okay. Well, out of curiosity, what did you have in mind for a date? Because I have to admit, I hate surprises. He was like, oh, yeah, understandable, understandable. And I asked him what kind of cuisines he's into, what kind of things he would want to do if he finally had a day off from his long, laborious job. And he, like, I'll put it this way. He tried it, bitch. He fucking tried it. He saw me in my little fucking crop top and my cargo pants and my little head wrap with the mystery hair underneath it. Still wearing the Dior necklace, though, because of fucking course. And he thought, but of course he wouldn't recognize that. But either way, he was like, oh, well, we could go on a walk. And I just gave him the look. And he was like, oh, not that. I said, mm-mm. He said, oh, not a walk? Mm-mm. He was like, how about a glass of wine? And I just stared at him longer. And he was like, no wine. Mm-mm. And I just kind of said, yeah, no, I didn't even, you saw me look at the wine menu in disgust, right? I'm not that type of person. Like, nigga, you heard me say in discussion that I stopped by a bar earlier and I drank only water. And you saw me pick up the wine list at where we're sitting at and proceed to go, no, thank you. At the, like, no. Like, I even said in the conversation that I don't even like coffee. I just said yes to a mocha because I thought it was going to be sweet. It was not a sweet mocha. But it's okay. It gave me the caffeine I needed to be high dopamine tonight and give me the extra boost of audacity that I always have in my system. But I can utilize it well. And you want to guess what happened? I'll put it this way. He was like, okay, no wine. What do you like to do? And I just mentioned going out to eat, and he had a little attitude about it, but I still asserted myself. I said, I'm the type of person where you can feel like you've only talked to me for like an hour, but then you'll realize, oh shit, it's actually been 4 hours, and we can trade food, try new cuisines, get to know each other for a prolonged period of time, and not be confined to that. Or I like something exhilarating and exciting, because if I'm gonna leave my house, I want something that feels really, really good. And, if you have your finite amount of time, I imagine you want to do something that's really unique and explore the area more, right? You mentioned wanting to do that. And he was like, yeah, yeah, that's true. And you know what happened? Guess what? Now we may or may not have a great date planned at this amazing Mexican food spot that I really, really like. And we shall see what happens from there. I knew he was trying to see what he could get away with. Most men will see if they can lowball you or offer you the bare minimum. It's up to you to set the bar high for yourself. It's up for you. Like, for example, I have a guy who's a foot guy right now. He's trying to offer me just a pedicure, but I thought to myself, a pedicure, even at one of the most luxurious places ever. No, that would not, like, no, thank you. Manicure and a pedicure and take me out shopping for clothing and then probably also buy me equipment that I need to get ahead in my career. That's something that's like a little closer to getting, like, now we both can be happy. I'm just saying. Also, I told him to slow his roll sexually, but even then, so far, all I know is me and that guy might meet up for a date soon. And I have another guy who basically tried to talk all about wanting to take me shopping and this, and that, and I made it clear to him. Like, he was like, ooh, I have this amazing, like, opal and moissanite and this, and that jewelry I can give you. Oh, you're gonna love it. And I made it clear. It's like, okay, before we meet, you must show it to me. Because I don't like anticipation and surprises. This man showed me the like nigga. Oh, I wish I could. I wanted to say so bad, nigga. You're 40 years old and you're showing me fucking Goodwill level plastic ass jewelry, mind you. Dior, $700 retail. Probably even worth more than that. But I'm a lady. So instead of saying fuck you, I said, I think you can keep that personally. It seems to be to your taste, but that's not personally to mine. Also, you said you'd like to take me shopping, right? For something really nice. I know a place where I could get some really nice items. Like, I think you would love to go out. Like, I have this amazing silk sundress. I would love to go there with you. And he was like, hell yeah, that sounds great. So now we have that plan, and that's fun. I like women who ask for what they want. It's like I think it is very important to be a woman who dresses up confidently in whatever fashion you like, who asks for what she wants and is a go-getter and isn't afraid to ask for more. Now that I have an established, like, everything in my life is pretty established right now and I'm very happy about it, I can date on my terms and do what I want and be happy, and I support women who do that. Now, funny enough, 6 minutes in, the real topic of this video is Anne Boleyn. I love this bitch so much. Is she a bitch? Absolutely. But you know what? She secured her fucking position. She's a bad bitch. So if you're like, who the fuck is Anne Boleyn? Okay, so you know the story of King Henry. King Henry and all his, like, 6 wives. This is, like, he has a history of killing his wives because he wanted a son, but also because he was just a fucking freaky ass nigga. He is 69 God. He's a weak ass bitch. So what happened, like, this is the order of his wives. The first wife he had, he divorced. The second wife he had, beheaded. The third wife he had, died. The fourth wife, divorced, kept alive. The fifth wife, beheaded. And the last wife survived, aka she lived to the end. But even then, when she died, they desecrated the fuck out of her corpse. It was they treated all these women terribly. The only woman who came out on top, like, okay, there's only like there's a hierarchy here for who came out on top. But here, I'm gonna say what I know. Catherine of Aragon, King Henry's first fucking wife. Let me spit some tea on you real quick. Like, let me just pretend you don't know anything about King Henry and all that shit. I'm gonna tell you what I know and the best that I know. And if any of this information is wrong, feel free to tell me in a nice manner because I love learning about this type of stuff. So, King Henry, if I recall correctly, imagine you're a Spanish princess named Catherine of Aragon, and you're like a little bit older, a little bit older, and you try to marry this one dude who's kind of like a nerdy ass nigga. You marry him, y'all fuck, but you keep it low key, like, because you're married to him. You're married to who seems like they're gonna be the future king of England, and you want to be queen someday. So you're like, okay, I fucked this nigga, and I'm gonna have like a kid someday, and it's gonna be great. Yippee! But then as time goes on, your husband just out of nowhere fucking dies, and then the English court of assholes in, like, let's say, I don't know, fucking London. Let's just say London. I don't know. Let's make shit up. But let's just say English fucking court is like, hey, Spanish bitch, you were only here for 2 weeks, and we already didn't like you that much. But yeah, since he's dead, we don't need you, so you should just ship yourself back to Spain or wherever the fuck you came from. And she was like, no, no. Catherine of Aragon was a smart little lady. She was like, actually, me and my husband never fucked. And they were like, you're fucking capping. She was like, on God, we never fucked. And she found a way to, like, she basically was like, we never fucked ever. And like, no, at most, maybe he licked it, maybe he caressed something, but he never got an inside virginity check me, on God. Like, this bitch was like, on God. So you know what, time goes on, and then she's like, you know what, I'm gonna marry the guy who just died's younger brother, King Henry. And King Henry, he was like a spry little young thing, like, I forget the age gap between these two. It might have been like, let's say, like 7 years or so. Awkward gap, but you know what, whatever. It's like, imagine you're like 25 and your husband's like fucking, I don't know, let's say 17. It's like, could be. She was like, it could be worse. Fuck it, this works for me. And King Henry was like, when he was young, people were like, this nigga's impressive. He's charismatic, he's in shape, he's fit, he's smart as a fiddle. He loves the arts and the poetry, and he's smart as fuck. We love this nigga. Like, and so they dated and they were married, and everything was like, yeah, it was great. And she became the queen, and everything's all wonderful and dandy until Anne Boleyn comes. Now, I won't say every story of every fucking bride, but let's just say Anne Boleyn, messy. Messy. Anne Boleyn, I believe, I forget, was she Italian descent or French? I think she was Italian descent, but then went to French court and she studied under like a French queen for a while and learned a lot about like charm and manners and stuff out there and etiquette. And let's just say, she was like raised by aristocracy, money hungry, greedy ass family members. And she also had a sister named Mary. Mary, I ain't saying that. Let's just say, as time went on in court, King Henry was known to fuck around. The current queen, Catherine of Aragon, she was older. She was getting up in them years. She didn't mind. Like, she was in her, like, late 30s or 40s or some shit by then, and she was like, yeah, I don't really give a fuck that he's cheating on me with other women. By then, she was just like, whatever. We kind of expected this, and, like she got over that milestone, I think. Because it was just like, okay, he's just sticking his dick in people. He's not officially having a mistress. That's different. He's just fucking random whores. But whatever, as long as I get my peace of mind, and we already have a daughter. But then Anne Boleyn, young, cute, fly-ass bitch, city girl. She comes out of nowhere and she's like, look at me. I'm French and I'm mysterious and I'm cute. But before that, King Henry at some point, he already got with Mary Boleyn. He saw Mary Boleyn and all her, like, beautiful voluptuousness, and he was like, dibs, tapped that ass. He fucked her, I believe he actually had a son out of wedlock with her, but he never really fucking claimed the son. He just was like, oh, I guess I have a kid. I don't give a fuck, that nigga not legitimate, and that's not my wife, so, but hey, maybe I'll give you some money. Pay that child support. I'll knight him later in life. Put him in my army. It'll be all good. Your family's set for life, baby girl. But in like a set for life, as in like your kid will be fine and you should be financially okay type shit. And she, like, her, Mary, and Anne Boleyn's fucking family wanted more. They wanted more than just child support. They wanted, like, full on huge piece of the royal pie type shit. So you know who they went for? Anne. They said, hey, Anne, guess what? You could get us even more money by fucking the king. And she was like, I'm not trying to be the king's fucking whore. Who do you think I am? You want me to be his professional side chick? But she was smart about it. She said, but if I am going to be a side chick, if my family's going to pressure me to be a side chick, and it seems like I've caught his attention, I'm going to play the cards right where I keep my virginity. I get, like, all sorts of jewels and bags and beautiful shit. And on top of that, like, I'm going to be fucking queen. She didn't want to just be some side bitch who gets, like, pregnant and then has all of her dating options ruined in a really, really good, like, nobility social scene. She wanted to level herself up to the fucking highest. But it came at a cost. I'll put it this way. Do you know about Carisha and Diddy and how, like, Carisha did really good at elevating her life by dating Diddy, but then she had to deal with side bitches here, lawsuits there, everything about the whole Diddy baby girl sex trafficking ring case, and her own disgusting involvement in the information she knew about that? Exactly. So, not all level ups are level ups. Some level ups ruin just burn every bridge you can think of, which is exactly why Carisha from the City Girls, she's no longer close to JT, and she isn't making good music anymore, and she's just kind of fucking herself up. And it's like you attach yourself to gross people, so you have a gross outcome. That's what you get. But whatever, girl, you have the Birkin and the diamonds and a shitty ass nigga you hate, so good job. The same kind of happens to Anne Boleyn. Anne Boleyn was like, simply put, she did good at flirting. Like, I remember at some point, like, the king was putting on pressure hard, and he was like, hey, you're gonna come on this trip with me, and we're gonna have our fun, because I've done so much for you already. And what I recall happened is that she did it smart. She kind of just vanished off the face of the earth. I think she went to France or some other fuck-ass place for a while. Not fuck-ass, but a good place. Because, she's living luxury. She just kind of went, I'm gonna go from here to just suddenly here, out of the king's sight, and I'm gonna make him miss me. And then I'm gonna come back, and he's gonna be like, oh my god, it's that girl who got away, the one who got away, and she played games and got that nigga obsessed. But she got weird, because next thing you know, it went from just like, oh, look at me, I'm the bad bitch, like, I'm already sitting in the queen consort's seat, even though he already has a queen. Oh, look at me, like, I'm in the mistress's chair, even though she wasn't an official mistress, he was hesitating. But he really wanted her, but she was still like, no, kitty on lock, you ain't getting none of this, baby boy. But you know what she did? She got weird. And this is where it gets kind of weird, because at some point, for some reason, like, I believe Anne Boleyn and King Henry, like, had their little situationship dating thing for, like, 8 fucking years. And it's like, bitch, 8 fucking years? She was kind of a placeholder if you think about it, because it's like, Or was she? It's debatable on if he, because it's like we know how the story ends, and if you don't, just stay tuned, I'll tell you. But I'll put it this way. That nigga was kind of weird. Because I'll put it this way. He was like, hey, guess what? Hey, Catherine of Aragon, my beautiful old wife, who's probably like realistically only like 32, but old, who I hate. Guess what? This little 20-something bad bitch who I like, she's gonna be your assigned maid, closest confidant, and best friend. So she's gonna be dressing you, she's gonna be helping you with everything. And it's like, I want you to picture how it would feel to be with a guy for a long ass time. Just for, like, I don't know, like, fucking, I don't know, let's say it's 16 years or maybe even more. And then out of nowhere, he's like, hey, guess what? Beautiful wife who I love so much. I'm assigning you a best friend who's also gonna wash you, bathe you, like, be your closest best friend. And it's gonna be cooking with Kaya. And I'm definitely gonna be fucking the shit out of her behind your back. But also in front of your face, I'm gonna be flirting with her and being gross as fuck. And that's what King Henry liked to do. He did it with pretty much almost every fucking wife he had. He was a nasty ass nigga. But to stay on topic, I want you to picture that. Your husband comes home and is like, here is a girl who I'm obviously trying to make my side chick. She's going to be the one who laces up your dresses, laces up your shoes, washes your pussy, all that. And you will have to know that I want to fuck her and she will eventually be the one I'm fucking. And I'm trying to level up her position in life. That was disgusting. Fucking Henry with his nasty ass. But let's just, I feel so bad for the women of this era. There's so much more disgusting shit. God. Anyway. Also, King Henry took it an extra step. He decided, you know what? I want to sleep with Anne Boleyn. But she doesn't want to fuck. But you know what? I still want to cuddle with her and have intimacy. This weirdo decides, you know what? I'm going to have her share a bed and sleep between me and Catherine of Aragon. I want you to picture how that feels for everybody involved. King Henry gets to wake up next to two bad bitches. Catherine of Aragon has to wake up to her shitty-ass husband, who's also getting fatter by the second and ruder by the second and even more narcissistic and stupid than ever from his fucking lame-ass diet of just motherfucking meat and potatoes. Like, this nigga was basically doing a damn near McDonald's diet of chicken nuggets and fries. Fucking loser. And then she also has to sleep next to her assigned best friend, her maid, her confidant, and also the definite side chick, and watch them canoodle directly next to her. And sleep every night next to that bitch. Like, and she can't even, like, whoop her ass. If I were Catherine of Aragon, I would start sleepwalking so fast. Like, oops! Whack the shit out that bitch. I'm sorry, I was asleep. I was possessed. Ah! I would suddenly have an urge to kick, bite, claw in my sleep, and I'd just be like, oh, I'm sorry, I had a night terror. And I would do that all the time until eventually the side bitch left the bed. I would do it all the fucking time. Because fuck you, Anne Boleyn. And imagine how Anne Boleyn felt. It's like, okay, I told this nigga I want to be queen, but now I have to sleep between his funky, ugly, busted ass. And, like, I also have to sleep next to this bitch who I don't want here. Why is your wife still here? Get her out! Like, this, and Anne Boleyn had a lot of audacity, and she was getting more pissed off by the second. So eventually, this bitch just openly was strutting around like, hey, you know what? I don't get why the queen's still here. I think someone should kill that bitch. And she openly says that in court. And also to Catherine of Aragon's face, she's just like, guess what? I think a bitch like you should die. Catherine of Aragon ain't even do shit. She just was married to her husband. She was married to her husband, minding her business. And Anne Boleyn's just like, you know what? Someone like you needs to fucking die. Just get you out the game. Anne! What the fuck is... Oh, you bitch! But she was fed the fuck up and she was trying to scare this bitch out. She was being messy. She was doing... Have you seen Jocelyn on, like, I think it was Love and Hip Hop, where she's like, hey, May, I see you got your maid outfit on like you always do. She was trying to start shit between the couple. She was trying to scare Catherine of Aragon out, and she was trying to, like, secure her man, you know? She was like, that's my man. Get away from him. You're old news. Get the fuck out. Messy as fuck. Time went on. Eventually and also I'll put it this way, eventually King Henry was like, you know what? Technically, I don't think my marriage to Catherine of Aragon should be valid in the first place, because you know what? I think she did fuck my brother. And I don't think I should have been, like, isn't there a rule in the Bible or something that says I can't marry my brother's wife? And like he just started making shit up, and he just was like, she probably fucked him before me, our marriage wasn't even valid, she's old spoiled goods, she probably wasn't even a virgin, blah 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 blah. And he tries to get it annulled, but basically everyone around him is like, you can't get that shit annulled, that's your wife, you have a kid together, you can't just remove your daughter as the fucking princess and your wife as the queen because you have new fresh meat. Like, nigga, you fuck prostitutes all the time. Like, also, you fucked your side chick's sister already and have a kid. What are you doing? But you know what? Anne Boleyn was also harping in his ear about, like, hey, I can give you a son. Don't you want, like, you know, a son, like someone to extend your bloodline and make you so powerful? She's an old bag. She probably is like, can't even give birth. She's rotten goods. You don't want to fuck. You want to fuck me. Look at me and my sweet little girl voice and my supple skin. It evokes something in you. You want to have my kid. And she's just like, come fuck me. She's like, come fuck. You want this, nigga. But guess what? And from what I recall, don't beat my ass because I keep forgetting the religions. If I recall correctly, I think Catherine of Aragon was like Catholic or some shit. And Anne Boleyn, she low key was a politician and like actually high key. And she really wanted, if I recall correctly, don't beat my ass, I think it was Protestant reform. She was like, we need to change the religion. She was like, fuck all this Catholicism, fuck the current church, fuck the last wife you had, fuck all that. Let's change shit up. And she also, I like, this is rumor, but I heard that she also was trying to advocate, like, hey, guess what? Maybe you should kill your ex-wife. Get her killed. Or send her away somewhere after you divorce her. Also, maybe kill the daughter. Like, but that's just a rumor. That one I heard very recently, and even then, that's just a rumor. So don't believe that one too hard. I don't even know if I fully believe that. But then again, I'll put it this way. Evil stepmother type shit does happen. It's like, yeah, if you're kind of a narcissistic woman going after like a narcissistic man and you're trying to make it clear like, hey, you don't want nothing stopping your potential future kid from being like king, ideally. You want to get the old bitches out. I get it. And also, it's like, yeah, it's like, fuck you, Princess Mary. I think it was Princess Mary. And it's like, fuck you, Princess Mary. Fuck you, Catherine of Aragon. I'm the real ass bitch over here, and I'm gonna have it my way. Like a Burger King, I'm gonna have it my way. And so this girl, let's just say King Henry was a slut, and this is when he starts getting stupid. Because, you know, I'll put it this way. If you have a King Henry diet of just meat and potatoes, no vegetables, you're going to get fat as fuck. Your temper is going to get worse. You're going to get inflamed and brain fog. You're going to do stupid shit. And his temper was getting worse and worse. So he was like, you know what? It's been hella long since she's been around. I want to hurry up and fuck her, and I want to make her queen, because you know what? I think I love her, but also I want her to shut the fuck up. And he couldn't give her a shut up ring, but you know what he did? He gave her a shut up religion. This nigga said, I'm going to separate from the fucking church, and I'm going to make the Church of England my own church, with my own rules, that say, I'm not going to let some fucking priest or pope or whatever say that I can't fucking have a new wife. I made my own church, and the god of my church says I can have as many young bitches as I want as my queen. Ashley, word on the street, gang gang. He changed the whole fucking country's religion, if I recall correctly, because he was a slut, because he was a whore, because he was an idiot, stupid man. Oh my god, stupid ass bitch ass nigga. Someone should have gave him broccoli. Someone should have went back in time and showed him the beauty of tea and broccoli instead of fucking alcoholism and meat and potatoes. I think we could have had a very different history. I wonder what decisions he would have made very differently. Probably wouldn't have killed so many women. God bless. Anyway, Anne gets what she wants. Eventually, Catherine of Aragon is tossed out, and she is crowned as queen, but people still don't think of her as the real queen, since Catherine of Aragon is still alive. And so, I believe King Henry exiles her, and Catherine of Aragon has to be separated from her own daughter of flesh and blood. And her own daughter, Princess Mary, has to live in squalor, like, far away in the castle. Instead of just living with her own fucking mother for some reason, they just said, yeah, we're gonna keep her and separate her from my ex-wife for some fucking reason, because we're cunts. And then we're gonna just have her living, like, damn near like a maid in a tiny-ass room with a tiny-ass bed and cobwebs. What the fuck? And he removed her out of the line of, like, royal lineage, but still kept her around for some reason. What the fuck was that for? And so I believe that Catherine of Aragon and her daughter didn't get to meet again for a very long time. I'm not sure if they ever met again, actually. Rumor has it that she died without ever seeing her daughter again. Disgusting as fuck. Anne Boleyn, though. I'll put it this way, I get Anne's motivations, because eventually, like, hella years into that shit, almost a full decade, she was like, nigga, I'm wasting my youth on you. I was spry and 20-something when I met you. I'm getting up in the years. You've ruined all my dating prospects. No one wants to marry me because I've been sleeping with a fat nigga and acting like I'm on Real Housewives of Atlanta and losing my fucking mind all the time. And also sleeping next to a wife. People think I'm a whore. People think I'm a heathen. People think I'm nasty. They think I'm a weirdo. And she was a weirdo. She was a weirdo. You gotta admit she was a weirdo. An ambitious one, but still, it's like, girl, why are you sleeping between that man and his wife? Like, come on now. Like, God. But Anne was like, I'm not trying to be like my sister Mary. If you want to hit this, you will change the world. And you will change the history. And I will give you a son. And she really promised, like, I will give the fuck out of you a son. And you will be king, and you will be an amazing man, and we can be in love. So guess what? King Henry was like, I bet. Changed everything. Queen her, and eventually when, but I'll put it this way. When Catherine of Aragon eventually died, Anne Boleyn and King Henry were relieved, but deep down, King Henry was already starting to fall out of love with Anne Boleyn, from what I recall. So Anne Boleyn was like, ding dong, the witch is dead. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Now I get to have the queen's bed. And, like, now I don't have to lose my fucking head and lose my mind over all this bullshit. But little did she know she was actually about to lose her head, because at that point, King Henry was already starting to look at other bitches. You want to know what King Henry did? He was like, ooh, Anne Boleyn has a very cute lady in waiting. Her little best friend. Oh, hello there. What was that bitch's name? The blonde, ugly one. She wasn't rumored to be very cute. Like, she was actually quite busted. But you know what? King Henry was lustful. And what was that girl's name? It's on the tip of my tongue, because all his wives have the same name. It's like all of them are like, let's see, it's like Catherine, Anne. Was the middle one named Kate? Then it was another Anne. Then it was another Catherine. And then I think it was another... This nigga just loved Catherines and Annes. This nigga had a type. Ugh. Also, at some point... Well, okay. Let's stay on topic. I just looked it up. This nigga loved some Catherines. First wife, Catherine of Aragon. Second wife, Anne Boleyn. Third wife, Jane Seymour. So she's the only one who doesn't have a matching name. Fourth wife, Anne of Cleves. Fifth wife, Catherine Howard. And sixth wife, Catherine Parr. Whew. And let's just say Anne Boleyn, ooh, girl, you are in danger. Because by the time fucking... And also it says that Catherine of Aragon he married in 1509 and annulled in 1533. So they were together for like quite some time. Like that's like over 20 years. Yeah, like 21, 20 something years. 23. Let's say 23. So, you know, long ass marriage. And he was creepy as fuck because it's like, I don't know. Anne Boleyn was young. Like, I believe Anne Boleyn, when they met, was younger than the fucking amount of time he's been married to his wife. It's like, nigga, when you married her, she was just getting born. You're nasty. Loser. But you know what? So, anyway, Anne Boleyn, right as Catherine of Aragon died, she was thinking to herself, hell yeah, now I got power, and I got status, everything's gonna go amazing, and it's a golden era, and I'm gonna give the king a son. But the whole time, that's when the king started already looking elsewhere. From what I recall, Anne Boleyn got pregnant many times and had many miscarriages. She had a girl daughter, and King Henry was not happy. Because Anne Boleyn was all, I know it's a son, it's a boy, I can just feel its leadership energy. This is going to be a great, strong man. King Henry, you're going to love your son. The second that baby pops out and it's got a vagina, everyone's just like, fuck Anne Boleyn, this lying-ass bitch. We don't like, it's your fault, it's a girl. Weak ass bitch, try harder for a boy. Fuck you. It's because back then they didn't know it's like the man controls the gene that makes gender, basically. Like, they didn't know that. More time passed. Guess what? Like, she got pregnant. And then one of the times she was pregnant, and she walks in on Jane Seymour, her assigned lady in waiting, aka her closest confidant, her closest mate, her closest friend, canoodling and kissing and sitting on King Henry's lap in his room. And so it's like, imagine you walk in pregnant as fuck and see the man who's been stressing you out that you still love trying to get it on with your best friend, and she's letting it happen despite how she knows you've been crying, she knows you've been stressed, she knows you've been pissed. She's fucking your man, or at least trying to. But you know what? Jane Seymour took a page out of Anne's book. She was like, I'm not gonna be a side chick. I'll lead him on until he divorces her, and then I'll be queen. I'm saving my virginity until then. And she took advantage of the fact that, like back then they didn't want to fuck when a woman was pregnant. So he was gonna look for elsewhere for some pussy. From what I recall, I remember rumors that like Anne Boleyn tried to like assign certain best friends to fuck on King Henry, so that then he wouldn't like bring home an STD, or that at least it could be like less times of him traveling out to God knows where to fuck random hoes around town. If it's like, okay, how about this? You fuck my homegirl Stacy. Because Stacy, she's like a solid 6 out of 10, but she's got big jugs. And hey, if you get Stacy pregnant, I don't mind. Stacy's easy to control and she doesn't thirst for power. She'll just be happy that I give her any positive attention. And I can just take, it's like, okay, whatever. Get Stacy pregnant. Not Jane. Jane had an entirely different religion. And Jane was a weak-ass, loser-ass bitch. Fuck Jane. Nasty bitch. So she was just like, shook as fuck. It's like, wow, you're fucking my wrong best friend. No. And she was trying to throw hands. Didn't succeed. Knocked some shit over. Fell over. Started bleeding. Miscarriage. No one I don't believe they knew the gender of the baby that miscarriage. And then another time where King Henry, this is also where he starts getting worse. He falls off of a horse, and a lot of people think he's fucking dead. Because he was doing some sort of jousting tournament. He gets knocked off, has like some sort of, I think it was some sort of brain and spine damage, and people thought he was fucking dead or paralyzed. And Anne, that was her shitty ass man, but she still loved him. And who knows what could have happened one, she still loved him. Two, who knows what could have happened to her position in court. If the king that you're married to, you're a queen, but if he dies, she knows what happens to queens whose husbands die. We saw what happened with Catherine of Aragon. She would get booted the fuck out. Unless her baby was gonna be a king, maybe she could stick around. Maybe she could still have some power and temporary control, but even then, that's kind of still rare, I believe. And it's just like, she was stressed. Your girl was like, no, not my nigga. I don't want my nigga to die. And then on top of that, it's like, oh, fuck, what's going to happen to me if he dies? They're going to get me out. They're saying they want to kill me. Oh, shit. And she fucking miscarriages again. And King Henry survives, but he survives, and he's like, fuck you, bitch. Why do you keep miscarrying with your bitch ass? What's wrong with you? You're what's wrong with her. You keep stressing her ass out by fucking her friends and fucking prostitutes and leaving home and being fat and rude and stank as fuck. Wash your ass. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. And she starts losing her mind. Because of course you would. It's like you're having multiple miscarriages from a man who doesn't give a single shit. Who claimed to love you. Ruined, it's like you don't have as much power as you wish you did. Everyone can tell you're losing the king's favor. You're getting openly jealous and openly angry, and you're watching as he fucks all the hoes across, the poor towns. He's fucking all the noble women. He's acting an ass. He's on his fuckboy summer type shit. City boys up. And you're miserable. And he's sapping her energy and her youth. And, she is happy because she still has her own daughter that she gave birth to. I believe her name is Princess Elizabeth. But all good things come to an end. Did Anne Boleyn get what she wanted? Yeah, she became queen. She had fine jewels, fine garments, a lot of supposed power at first. And a lot of people kissing her ass and fake loving her and seeing her ass she had haters, but she had supporters and power, and her family was gonna get blessed financially, but her family was still greedy and being like, give him a son, keep his fucking favor, get him to stop fucking whores, all this shit, do not fuck this up, we want more power, more money, more land. Let's just say it didn't go according to plan. From what I recall, she eventually had a fight with him that was too bad. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it marked his erectile dysfunction, maybe it marked his weight, or his intelligence. All I know is she hit his ego hard. And she was also losing her mind more. And so you know what they did? They said, King Henry was a cunt. He was like, you know what? Her best friend, as mid as she is more fucking tolerable. So you know what? I wouldn't mind changing religions again and replacing her with this really sweet fucking other side chick who doesn't stress me the fuck out, and she can get her ass the fuck on. Fuck her. And then he just kind of starts spreading rumors like, she fucked her brother, she was trying to kill me, she does witchcraft, she was fucking all these niggas, and he just makes up hella shit. And he also found out about a past marriage that she had. And then, even though I wouldn't even be shocked if he already, I don't know, he just got jealous as well. And he was like, I bet she fucked him. I bet she wasn't even a virgin, and she probably fucked that one husband she was married to, like, behind her family's back. I forgot to mention Anne Boleyn before she was with King Henry. I think at some point in London, she marries this like decent fellow who's like middle upper class, and her family was like, "Fuck that shit! You didn't get our consent. Fuck you. You can either follow what we say, or we cut you off fully." And they kind of just said, "We are abolishing this marriage and sending you to France," and that's why she is the way she is. But they should have like, I'll put it this way: King Henry just started being like, I bet she wasn't even a fucking virgin when we met. Because she was married before. And I bet she's a whore. And she probably is still a whore. And fuck this whore. And he just started fucking spreading rumors and being an asshole. Because of course he's a fucking asshole. And I'm sure you can guess what happens next. But, also, I forgot to mention this. Rumor has it, he also tried to pull the my marriage to her wasn't legitimate because she's been married to before, but also I don't think she was a virgin, but also I was legally married to Catherine of Aragon. And people say that if Catherine of Aragon was still alive, if he wanted, like, if she lived and didn't die in such a tragic way, that would have worked for Anne Boleyn. Because if King Henry was getting tired of Anne Boleyn, he could have said, fuck that bitch, divorced her, and went back to Catherine of Aragon and remarried her. And Anne Boleyn probably would have like still lost a bunch of shit and power and stuff, but she would have still been alive. She could have maybe taken her daughter with her, or her daughter would have still been in the royal lineage, but she herself would be like, okay, well, send you off somewhere, go remarry that one nigga you claim to have loved before, and get the fuck out of my face. There was still a chance that she could have been alive if they would have just been like, hey, our marriage was actually not valid, let's annul this shit. Anne Boleyn, get the fuck out of my face, I'm bringing back my main squeeze, Catherine of Aragon. Or he could have, it's rumor has it that could have happened. But sadly, since Catherine of Aragon died, Anne Boleyn's fate of death was sure to follow, and it did. It was tragic. Everything about it was tragic. Even Anne's worst supporters were still like, she's being framed. We know she didn't do this shit. And, like, we wanted her out, but did we want her dead, though? Like, she was a fucking bitch, but did they were like, we know she didn't fuck her brother. We know she hasn't been doing most of it. He's just making shit up because he wants to move on and fuck another bitch. But you know what? If he was the king, people thought he was placed on that throne by God, and so defying him would be defying God's word. And if a king decides he doesn't want you and that he's mad at you and wants to frame a bunch of people and pressure them with their lives at stake to spread lies and rumors against you, he even got a side bitch to lie. He got Jane Seymour to lie, and I believe she was like, yeah, I saw her. I'm her closest fucking assigned best friend and confidant instilled by the king. I saw her fuck her brother. I saw her do this. I saw her do that. I saw her do witchcraft. And it was just like, they set her up. Like, a bunch of people knew it's like they set this bitch up. Anne Boleyn was separated from her daughter, and I forget how long it was that she was separated. I think it might have been like, I don't want to lie, but let's just say I believe it was like a year or so, like a very long time to not see your own fucking daughter. They locked her away in a tower and kept delaying her death, but then eventually they just were like, alright. And the king kept pretending like he was gonna keep her alive or change her fate, but deep down it's like, no, he kept her not, like, until the very fucking end, I believe he kept her guessing, at least from what I've read and seen and heard about. But she handled death pretty well. If I recall, the way she handled death was that if I recall correctly, she got on that podium where she was gonna get her head cut off, like, and she was just like, okay. She cracked some jokes while she was up there. She was like, alright, I know all you bitches hate me, but, like, wasn't I kind of iconic? And she just says something about, like, God and love and blah, 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 blah. And then she kind of jokes like, oh, I hope the swordsman doesn't have, like, a trouble cutting my head off because I have such a short little neck. And even the crowd allegedly, like, laughed at some of the shit they said. Like, okay, funny-ass gallows humor. This girl, we kind of fuck with her. And she was like, alright, let's get this over with. And to get the best cut, the swordsman did a dirty trick. Like, they didn't choose to cut her head off with an axe, and I appreciate that they didn't. They chose to get a skilled swordsman to make it as quick and ideally painless as possible. Still fucking brutal, though. And so the swordsman behind her, she didn't know he already had a sword, so he lied and said, "Hey, over there is my swordsman." She's like, "Oh, really?" And she looks and turns her head while this nigga secretly, yeet, slices her shit off to get the cleanest cut with her neck outstretched. And then she dies and perishes, and it's sad. And you can guess what happened. Like, pretty much he married Jane Seymour pretty much damn near almost instantly. He was like, "There we go, Jane Seymour. Hell yeah, we are Catholic again. Look at my sexy blonde ugly ass wife who doesn't care if I cheat on her." And like, I'll put it this way: people say that marriage was only his favorite marriage, not because he just had her like like they were married for like what, a year. Like, basically the extent, like, they got married, she got pregnant very fast, and then she died when she gave birth. He didn't even have time to get sick of her. Otherwise, he would have, like all his other fucking women. But yeah, guess what? She gave birth to a boy, like King Henry allegedly wanted. The boy died extremely young, from what I recall. So it's like, you want to know what did happen though? If I recall, Catherine of Aragon and Anne Boleyn's daughters, actually, when King Henry was so annoyed that he kept having daughters or miscarriages when he wanted sons, his son died pretty young. Meanwhile, his daughters, who he kept repeatedly like casting aside, then giving favoritism, then casting aside, then giving favoritism, like a toxic ass divorced dad, of course would. Lame ass nigga. He, like, guess what? They both eventually become very popular. If I recall, I think it's Anne Boleyn's descendant, like Queen Elizabeth. That's the reason we have the most recent Queen Elizabeth, because it's a descendant of Anne Boleyn. That's like, so Anne Boleyn still won in the end because she's the one who has a surviving descendant in the bloodline. And it was a daughter. So hey, maybe the leadership she felt in her fucking uterus wasn't a boy, but just a really powerful fucking woman. And the story of Queen Elizabeth is a sad one. I'm still reading about it. But yeah. And then Catherine of Aragon, I believe Princess Mary also became powerful in a very different way. Very interesting, though. Oh, and this is something I forgot to mention. So, I'm learning about Catherine Parr, King Henry's final wife. That bitch, okay, I'll put it this way. She was a weird. All of these bitches were weird hoes. The only one who wasn't was Anne of Cleves. And Anne of Cleves was like the fourth wife who King Henry just was mad because she rejected him for being ugly. So he was like, "No, bitch, you're ugly. I'm divorcing you." And she was like, "Yes, my liege, I trust you. And I'm so sorry that you think I'm ugly." And he was like, "I like your spirit and attitude. You don't question me. Do you want to be single your entire life? And like have a really nice, like a lot of money and wealth?" And she was like, "Sure, I'll take that." And he was like, "Cool, you're like a little sister to me, ugly bitch." And that, but then like, yeah, and I think I heard rumors that allegedly he tried several times to get back with her, and Anna Cleves was like, "No, no, you don't deserve someone like me. You deserve a bad bitch like this Catherine chick. Yeah, look at her. Look at how beautiful and young she is. Yeah, stay away from me." And he took his old obese nasty stank leg. He had a rotting leg, and he was funky. So like Anna Cleves, like she won in the end. She was single with a lot of money. Maybe she was single because the king was like Homelander and just wanted to claim and own a bunch of women even if he wasn't fucking them actively and married to them. Or maybe it's just because she liked being single and didn't want to be controlled by a man. Rumor has it Anna Cleves just was like, if I marry a man, I'd have to have every single thing I own from the king and all this wealth and money and property be his instead of mine, so I'll just be single, yeah. I'll be single, God bless. And she chose to be single, God bless. You want to know what happened next? Oh yeah, so there's multiple. Let's skip to the final wife, Catherine Parr. Catherine Parr was a weirdo, and at some point, like, she didn't even want to marry King Henry. If I recall, she had a husband who she really loved, who died, and King Henry was like, "This sexy ass bitch, give me her now." And she was like, "Okay, this nigga is senile and fat and ugly and busted and stink as fuck. But if I marry him, I'll get a lot of power and money. But I really want to marry this guy named Thomas Seymour." And the king was like, "You're gonna fucking marry me." And so she married him and was basically his caretaker and nurse. It was like she didn't like him. The second the King Henry died, if I recall correctly, she married Thomas Seymour like that instantly. I believe she wasn't supposed to, but whatever, she did. And I believe she was also the caretaker to Princess Elizabeth, aka Anne Boleyn's daughter, with Thomas Seymour. And Thomas Seymour was a weird ass nigga. Like, he was on his freaky ass, nasty R. Kelly shit. At some point, there was an incident where, like, I forget how young Queen Elizabeth the First was. But all I know is, I'm saying she was probably, like, realistically, like, 11 or 12 or something, and she was mourning her dad dying. Like, yeah, he was a narcissistic loser who did favoritism, but he was still her father. So she cried, and she was mourning, and the final queen was like, hey, stop, come on, you're young, you're cute, you're fly, stop tripping over your dad dying. And then she's like, but my dad died. And Catherine Parr and Thomas Seymour just were like, oh, well, you can't wear your mourning clothes if I do this. And Thomas Seymour took a pair of scissors, and allegedly Catherine Parr thought, oh, it'll just be like, we're just gonna like take one snip or two snip just to be like, oh, look, you can't wear your mourning clothes, haha, you can't wear your funeral dress, stop wearing all black, come on, come out and play and be fun and youthful and stop being sad about a king that no one fucking liked. And Thomas Seymour took it too far. Like, imagine someone was just trying to fuck with you. Like, stop wearing depressing ass clothing. See, I cut out your t-shirt and ripped it like twice. So, you can't wear that shit anymore. Come wear a sundress and be happy, young girl. This nigga cut her dress up into 1,000 little pieces, damn near cutting her nude as Catherine Parr pinned her down. And it was documented that it was all in great fun. Thomas Seymour, noticing that the young Queen Elizabeth had a crush on him, decided, I'll start sneaking into her bedchambers very late at night, and I'm gonna have my way with her, because I can tell she has a crush on me. And he started abusing her. His plan was that he was going to sodomize her, and then also, like, basically he had a bunch of interpersonal politician based shit where he was basically plotting to become king, and he was like, I can fuck this underage girl and eventually I'll make her my wife and I'll take out anyone who and start wars with people and I'll just fucking become king. And it's a good plan, big boom pow, let's do it, let's get on our nasty disgusting fucking rumor shit. And he did. Don't clip that out of context, but yeah, he fucking Thomas Seymour did that. They caught on to him, and Catherine of Parr, she was a weirdo for a lot of fucking reasons, because rumor has it that she knew he was doing it, but she snuck into bed with him. Like, she was acting like Precious's mama. Like, it's hard to say if it was just like, oh, were they all sleeping in the same bed platonically with a little bit of heavy petting here or there that was just playful tickling? Like, you know, like fucking Anne Boleyn, aka Queen Elizabeth's mother, and Catherine of Aragon and the King, like, type shit, creepy ass fuck? Or was it like threesomes where she was like just desperate to keep a man who she wanted for so long and was willing to date basically a pedophile if it meant that, like, he, like, you know, basically the Precious's mother's logic of, I don't want to lose my man to a younger girl who's pretty, so if I join in on the fun, like, pick me, choose me, love me, and let this girl get abused and I join in to be fun and sexy and hot, then maybe he'll still love me. He didn't love her, I'm sure you could guess. Disgusting. Catherine Parr died. I forget of what. I think something about treason. But either way, eventually, let's just say an investigation happened, and they were like, okay, do we really want to let the Princess Elizabeth be in the hands of this weird ass nigga who's not related to her in any way? Why should we have Thomas Seymour around? Raid him. And they interrogated the maids and hella people, and they were like, yeah, shit's been weird. And they finally questioned Princess Elizabeth at the time. And she was a smart girl. I'm sure she knew what happened to queens and to young women who were not virgins, and what happened to them in society, and how they would even be like her fucking mother, they would be beheaded, like the woman her mother stole the king from, they would be killed or sent away or cast off, or her, and she just knew how this would go. So she was like, oh yeah, he was trying to be inappropriate with me, but he didn't do anything. I'm still a virgin. She did the classic I'm still a virgin, nothing ever happened card. And whether they believed her or not, they didn't care. They were like, hey, we don't, you know what? What are we going to do? Get rid of someone in the royal lineage, like a direct descendant of the king and the closest match we have to what is seen as a valid queen, even though we also invalidated Queen Anne Boleyn, but whatever. Either way, she was still in the royal lineage. And they were just like, you know what? Let's let's do what we know best. Behead people. So they said, fuck you, Thomas Seymour, you're arrested for all these nasty ass fucking things, and treason, and attempted murder, and all this disgusting shit. And they killed him. And then guess what? Princess Elizabeth got to become queen later in life because she swore off of men. And I'm sure, yeah, her father killed a bunch of women. She grew up around nonstop misogyny and was hated just because she was born a woman amongst men. And then even then, she got sexually abused by a man. Of course, she's going to be like, yeah, I'm just going to never fucking date or trust a man again because look at what I'm dealing with. And you know what happened? Guess what? She got to fucking... People knew her as the Virgin Queen. As the queen who never ever had sex and swore to just devote herself to her nation. And I think she also killed a fuck ton of people in, wait, no, or am I mixing her with Bloody Mary? Either way, all I know is she fucking did what she knew best. She was like, I'm not gonna fuck any man, and I'm gonna devote myself to my religion, and that's all that fucking matters. God bless and amen. And she continued that shit on. And yeah, good for her. I'm glad she was smart enough to be like, I live in a misogynist society. I'm gonna lie and say I'm a virgin to get ahead. And she did. God bless her soul. She was smart as fuck for that. And lo and behold, she moved on. And yeah, I don't know the rest of the details of her life. I'm still reading about it, but that shit fascinates me. Anyway, that was a lot of information, wasn't it? I hope it was cohesive enough for you. But yeah, shout out to the ones who are the go-getters, who know how to work with their circumstances and their environments and other people's egos and personalities to get what they want. Catherine of Aragon, I respect that she was like, okay, I could get shipped back off to Spain and be some useless princess and possibly be married to some nasty old fuck, or I could marry my dead husband's sexy younger brother and just comfortably be queen and have a lot of power and respect and love. And all I have to do is lie and say I'm a virgin. And, like, shout out to Anne Boleyn for simply being like, oh, okay, I could just, like, fuck on this nigga like my sister did, or I could play the long game and become queen and have a daughter or a son that becomes queen or king, and I can have all the blessings and beauty and abundance for my family. And then you know what? Fucking Jane Seymour was smart as fuck. She was like, oh look, I could pull an Anne Boleyn on Anne Boleyn. Hey, it works out for me. Except her fucking son didn't even get to do any fucking, like, I'm sorry. It didn't work out in the end for her. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at her son dying. I'm sorry. It's kind of funny that she took a page out of Anne Boleyn's notebook but still didn't quite nail the recipe down. I'm sorry. It's like, you still lost. Your son died young. I'm sorry about that, girl. That sucks, though. It does suck. I'm sorry about it. Her son. The boy didn't deserve that. And yeah, she didn't. It was tragic. I'm so sorry. God bless her soul. God bless her soul. And shout out to Anna Cleves. Anna Cleves knew what the fuck to do. That was his fourth wife. Like, she was like, I secretly find this nigga ugly, but I'm gonna manipulate the situation so that, you know what, this narcissistic bitch, I don't want him to fucking kill me, but I will find a way to make him still love and respect me enough and cherish me with that, like, and make him think that I'm out of his league, as in I'm the busted one. And he will like me so much as a sister that he will get me whatever I want just so I can be his right hand girl and his bestie. And all I have to do is, like, tolerate that he's going to marry a 17-year-old next and just get on good terms with all of his wives and just be super chill. Hell yeah, that sounds good to me. And then the next wife, Catherine Howard. Her fate was tragic, but you know what? She got leveled the fuck up. It's like, I hate that her chords did not get played completely right, and she had, like, I wish it ended differently for her. But, yeah, there's not much to say about her. I'm sorry. But she was so young. It was tragic. And then the final one. The final queen, you know what? She could have had the world in her hands, but sadly it didn't go out for her very well. And I don't know too much past her being a pedophile enabler, or maybe just extremely stupid and fucking ignorant and naive for the time period, and just a fucking dumbass. All I know is, for some reason, people hated her so much. Maybe because she remarried so quickly after King Henry. Because niggas, like, hated him, but still kind of respected and loved him. So it's like, you fucking moved on from our king, bitch! And she tried to and I think she got pregnant immediately, and then something happened to the baby. I don't know what, but it died young as well. And then when she died, people fucking did terrible things to her corpse and just ripped it apart for ages and ages. Like, I believe it was fucking multiple decades or generations. People would just be like, oh my god, look, That's Catherine Parr's corpse. Let's rip it to fucking shreds for no reason. And it just kept happening. It's so sad. Anyway, that's all I gotta say for now. Shout out to ambitious women who get what they want. And fuck niggas who are lame as fucking selfish. Do not tolerate their bullshit. I always stand for women who will stand for what they want and be like, I'm getting this. I'm not tolerating for crumbs. Play your cards right. Bye.